Hello there from Blackpool Pleasure Beach on the 24th of August 2023. I'm not very good at this today. It was a long night last night. The Big Dipper party was good. I didn't even have any beer and I feel like I'm drunk. It's not a good start, is it? But I'm not as drunk as Mike got because, you know, he's not even fashioned his shoelaces yet today. So he's going to fall over at some point. We'll try and get that on camera, but more importantly...
tried that last night, it failed.
Yeah, we'll be more subtle today. You're always good at falling over, especially over there. But yeah, we won't talk about that too much. We have paper tickets, which you can collect from guest services. So if you're visiting Blackpool Pleasure Beach in the remainder of...
and grab it shop.
Yeah, we'll get to that. He's in one of those moods today. If you are visiting Blackpool Pleasure Beach for the rest of 2023 at any point, you don't have to scan onto the rides with your phone every time. You can go to guest services or the Wallace and Gromit shop, as Mike has just so wonderfully told us. Get a paper ticket and go beep and go on the rides. What are we doing today then? Big Dipper loads.
Rides.
Seems as we oh yeah, funny that. We're in an amusement park with rides.
Well, I didn't hear someone ask where the big one was earlier.
It's red and blue and in the sky, and that's not Superman, that's the big one. So yeah, we are going to try and do plenty of laps on the Big Dipper today because we failed spectacularally yesterday. The plan yesterday was to lap Big Dipper all day. We did it once between 10 and 6, but it did open at 2 o'clock.
It didn't open until 2.
Yeah, but we were on the telly. Northwest Tonight, BBC. Thank you for another appearance on the telly now. Been on the telly more times than you, Andy Rumney, and that is your catch line. But yeah, do Big Dipper lots today. Do probably the big one lots. Mike said he wants to do lots of rides on the Grand National at the back. And also, I don't know how long they're going to be here. We've got Sam, Natalie, Loud Jimmy,
Mo.
Nickelodeon Street then?
Yeah.
Let's go. How was your ride on Nickelodeon Street / roller coaster?
Needs a bit warming up.
Needs a bit warming up. I've got to be honest, right? It's always been like the smoothest woody here, but I think it could do with some retracking work like the Dipper and the Grand Nationals had, especially the aeroplane drop, which goes past the old Space Invader Big Pizza Kitchen building, because that ain't half a bit rattly now.
For a while.
Yeah, it's certainly got a bit of a rattle down there now. I mean, it's not unbearably rough. It just, you know, whenever they get round to doing some more track work on the woodies, hopefully that'll be what they do, because it ain't half a bit bumpy around there now. And on the corner that follows it, but I think the drop, more importantly, is a bit that could do with some work. But otherwise, still an airtime machine.
Yes.
Lots of disgusting airtime. Great experience. Always enjoy it.
Airtime.
Back row for the full experience. And now, I think we're going on Blue Flyer. I think we should lap the ref today.
Trying to kill me.
Oh, honestly, what would I do without you? Who would I get to talk to videos do like this when Mark's busy? Oh, it's been good so far. We're going to get the full Pleasure Beach experience today. We've been on Nickelodeon Street, been on Blue Flyer, and we're just going to do as many of the coasters as we can. And just, you know, Mike wanted to do Circus Bounce, but we had to, you know, pull him away. Like, no, you can't go on that night.
Lies.
Lies, definitely a lie. Good news. Big one's open now. You alright, mate?
No.
What's up?
This ride needs an elevator.
At least there's no queue.
That's the problem.
Nice and quiet, isn't it?
That's the problem.
Why?
It needs a queue, then you'd have to walk all the way up.
Big one's now open, like I was saying when you're coming up. It's just opened the queue line in terms of the station. The only problem is, I think the trains still need de-sandbagging, so...
Yeah, we'll give that a miss for a bit.
This is why we don't do a big one first. We've already walked onto 3 rides, but big one's got a big queue. So yeah, top tip, don't do the big one first. Big one queue, Revolution queue. Top tips by Scott and Mike.
Please stand behind the yellow line. Please stand behind the yellow line.
We've been on the Revolution. How was it, Mike? Front row?
Fun.
Is Natalie okay in the background there?
The people we associate with.
I know, yeah.
Disgrace.
We're ringing pest control in a minute. So we were on about, while we were up on the Rev, about the big one being busy. We've done 3 rides in 20 minutes. The big one queue behind us is probably an hour at this point because there's only like one full train, isn't there? Then the other train has only got 3 carriages on at the minute with the back 2 sandbagged. Now, during testing, the big one is sent round with sandbags in the train to weight down the trains, basically as if people were in it. They do that every single day. So in the morning it tests with sandbags. In the evening the sandbags go back in the train for the following day. And then obviously every morning, when they're putting people in it, they have to take the sandbags out gradually. So if it's on 2 trains, there'll be one full train with no sandbags, and then the other one will gradually be unloaded. So that is why we always say don't do big one first, because you can see the queue back there is really long, yet in other parts of the park everything's walk on. So don't do the big one first. That is our top tip of today's vlog. It's Icon time here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Icon is on a 2-train service, but no Enzo, which means Icon now, Mike's cheering behind me, there's 3 serviceable trains again on Icon now, so you've got 2 normal trains and then the 1 train with Enzo. So that's good for Mike because he doesn't have to wait for as long doing the back row, which is something that he's complained about before when it's just been 1 train and the Enzo train. I believe the Enzo train will go on about 1 or 2 o'clock. Which it normally does when there's 3 serviceable trains. Probably not going to have a go on it today, but looking forward to getting on Icon. Is Mike looking forward to it? 2 thumbs up, he's very excited. Icon, how was it for you?
Yeah, it was fun.
Fun? Just fun? Back row?
Back row.
So like we were saying in the queue, 2 trains, no Enzo. Does it make a difference to the queuing experience? Massively? Massively. Explain.
Well, no ridiculous chaos in the back row.
Agreed.
Nobody confused about why there's 2 seats missing.
Yep.
No queues massing up waiting for the back rows to clear.
No bottleneck at the e-ticket scanner as a result. But let's give the staff some credit as well. On those 2 trains, they are chucking those trains out, and that was like a 2018 queuing experience for Icon. Join the queue, 10 minutes later, we're on it. Haven't said that for a long time when it's actually had some sort of queue. But the sad thing is, I still think Enzo's the best way to experience Icon. The problem is, it causes too many problems. So yeah, I don't know what the solution is other than getting rid of Enzo at some point. But really enjoyed our front row go. Well, mine and Jimmy's front row go on Icon. Mike did the back row. Glad we've got on it. 4 coasters done already. Happy days. Big Dipper's currently closed. Should we go and do?
I did it every night last night apparently. next ride is the Grand National.
Hey. We've been on the Grand National. Mike's still on it. He's gone for a re-ride actually. He won't mention this in the vlog, but he's gone for a re-ride. We're all waiting for him now. He's really enjoyed it the first time, so he's going to come off and go, "Oh, I didn't like that," but he did because he went for a re-ride. How was your re-ride?
Hey?
How was your re-ride?
I ain't having no re-ride.
Yeah.
You went on it twice, didn't you?
No.
Good news, Big Dipper is now open. It's on one train, and we're just going to do it straight away in case it does get a big queue. Michael, how was the Big Dipper? Oh, sorry, it's not Sunday. Mike, how was the Big Dipper?
It was quite raucous.
It was. You know what? It's really good getting on it these last 2 days. Obviously, yesterday was the Big Dipper party.
Yeah.
I must say that I'm apologising now that the vlog was so short. It was quite difficult to film, wasn't
Really
it?
noisy because of the music.
So loud and so much going on and so many people to chat to that we've not seen for ages and so many people that we met for the first time that I've got to say I really appreciate the support for the channel, so thank you so much to everyone that came and spoke to me and Mike. Yeah, if you can't support that video, I'll put a link at the top of the screen for that one. Like I say,
These things turn into social events as
yeah,
well.
they do.
So.
Yeah. I think it was not our best work in terms of a vlog, but I hope that we covered the event quite well. Big Dipper, I don't know, I mean, it might be better than the National.
Oh, it is better
On that form.
I keep telling you this.
We are going to talk about Blackpool Pleasure Beach season passes. Now, for the last 20 odd years here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, there has basically been either one pass available, which is known as the Platinum Pass, which most of the time we've been able to get for like £99 renewal price, or on an offer for something like 80, 90 quid. And then in around 2009 they introduced what was basically the walk round season pass called the Diamond Pass, which is about 50 quid. You couldn't go on the rides with it except for what we're on now, and Impossible, but you could use it to get into the park when Pleasure Beach had the walk round pass. Now, for probably the last 2 or 3 years we've debated, are Blackpool Pleasure Beach going to make the season passes more expensive, add tiers to them like Merlin have done, or just generally make them a little bit different so that people like me, Mike, and the season pass holders who visit every day don't get as much sort of value out of the passes as we perhaps do, because at the end of the day they're dirt cheap. 99 quid for an unlimited visits from March to November, superb value, but you have to question, are Pleasure Beach making any money out of it? Because across the board of all season pass holders, is everybody giving Pleasure Beach the secondary spend that they perhaps need? And so that may be why Pleasure Beach are either going to introduce new tiers to the passes or just make them more expensive. In the background here is Mike. He is struggling to stay awake, so we'll get his opinions in a second, but first there is a tunnel. So what I will say quickly before we get to the big tunnel is that from a quick Google search for Blackpool Pleasure Beach season pass, it's very clear that there is going to be a couple of different pass options available for the 2024 season. First question then, Mike. In your opinion, are the season passes too good a value?
That's a hard question to answer because personally, I quite like them at the price they are.
Well, yeah, so do I.
As a consumer, but I can see how the business might want to make more of it.
Yeah.
Now, be that increasing just a flat out, stop selling them at 100 quid, just offer them at, even if they were they offer them at 189.60 with a renewal offer of maybe 150, 160 quid.
Yeah.
Might be one outlet. It does look more like, from what we're seeing on what was teased on socials a couple of days ago and what a couple of enterprising folk have managed to turn up from Google searches, Google image searches, is that we are going to have
a spring season pass.
yeah, we're going to have a seasonal season pass.
Spring, summer and autumn by the looks of it.
Looks like it.
Do you think they'll offer a full season pass as well?
I don't know whether they'll offer a full season pass or whether they might offer some sort of discount when you buy the lot, for example.
Yeah, so if you bought all three,
You get one free, for example, or you
Yeah.
win offer. I mean, it's speculation at the moment because there's no indication of what they're going to be, what they're going to entail, how much they're going to cost, which is the big factor.
Yeah,
It's how
agreed.
much they're going to cost. You know, it might be 200 quid a go, in which case it's like, bye, no, not paying that.
for context, I should probably mention that there is actually an autumn Blackpool Pleasure Beach pass. Now, hesitant to call it a season pass because it's literally only valid from the 1st of October until the end of November when Blackpool Pleasure Beach closes. But that pass includes unlimited access to Blackpool Pleasure Beach throughout October and November when the park is open, which is of course subject to whatever their opening times are for all of those days. But also it gives you unlimited access to Blackpool Pleasure Beach's Halloween event, Journey to Hell Freak Nights. Now, we've got what you would call the standard Blackpool Pleasure Beach pass. We bought them last year for this year. We don't get any access to Journey to Hell with our season pass, which makes me wonder if next year, alongside like say a spring pass, big one's loud, alongside like the spring pass, summer pass and autumn pass, if there'll be like a full season pass which covers the whole season, no blackout days, maybe some discounts like we already get, entry to the European parks like we already get, no, like I say, no blackout days, so maybe even access to Journey to Hell at something like 250, 300 quid. I'm not suggesting that's what the price should be, just like a loose prediction, that's what it might be. And then I would imagine these like shorter passes, like the spring one, the sun is well bright, like the spring one, summer one, autumn one, they might be like 99 quid a go.
What I'd like to see on them is, I think predominantly the offers are quite good. I do think there's scope for two things here. One is parking,
Yeah.
be it at a reduced price or even a seasonal parking pass.
Yeah.
And I do think there's scope for bring a friend vouchers.
You do, yeah.
You know, some sort of or a discounted entry.
Yeah. What is the maximum you would pay for a season pass with what is basically the same as what we have now?
I think I'd be starting to think about it at sort of 150 to 190.
Yeah.
You know, honestly. Maybe, 200 maybe. But I think I'd be thinking about it at that stage of, am I going to get the value out of it?
We've had a lap on the Pleasure Beach Express. Let me make a little bit of To conclude my thoughts on the season pass discussion, firstly, this is not. We're not editing this really badly. We're just going for another lap on the Pleasure Beach Express. But to conclude what I think is going to happen with the season passes, I do think there's going to be a full season pass offered. I don't think there'll be any restrictions on it. However, I do think it'll probably be more expensive than what we are. rained so loud in Blackpool. I think it'll be a lot more expensive than what we're used to, but I do think there'll be a decent, respectable renewal rate for all season pass holders or existing season pass holders this year. However, I do think as well they will offer, as we've seen from the screenshots on Google, I do think there'll be a spring season pass or a spring pass, a summer pass and an autumn pass with different reasons and incentives to buy those, and they'll probably be charged more like what we're familiar with, like £99, £100 for however long those passes last for, whereas I think that the full pass will be more expensive than what we're used to. What would I pay for one of these passes? I'll be honest, I really don't know, because I've got to get one for me and my little boy, who absolutely adores Blackpool Pleasure Beach, so I think anything from 150 quid upwards. I'm not 100% sure what I'd do. Probably would get them, to be fair, because I'd get easily get value for money out of them. 5, 6, 7 visits, sorted. Value for money.
Looking forward to highs then.
I was just going to say, in a Pleasure Beach experience first, well it probably would have been, in a Your Experience guide first, we're actually going to watch Hot Ice and review it. However, we can't film it. I've watched it before, I've just not reviewed it in a video, so we'll see how it goes. I'm guessing it's going to be very similar to last year and the years before it, but we'll see how it is. We're back on the train again. We've been to watch Hot Ice. You can't film or take any photos in there. It's literally as soon as the lights dim, it's cameras away, phones away, basically no communication for like an hour, so can't film in there, but it's very similar to the show last year. It's I don't really want to offend anyone. Hot Ice is not really for me. It's a fantastic production. The costumes are incredible. All the skaters are incredible. I'm just not into skating though, but I'll give it a go. Watched it this year, watched it last year. Probably won't watch it now for a while, but it is an incredible show for what they do. Like the skaters are so talented. It's just not for me. And every time I watch it, I'm always like, I really wish Pleasure Beach would bring back Forbidden and Eclipse, because they, or just one or the other, or just a combination of both, they were both incredible shows here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. What I will say is that, oh, it's very bright. The music from Glenn, the notable Stranger, and some of the old Hot Ice tracks, they combined to make a great soundtrack throughout. We only watched the matinee. It's free with an e-ticket. It's done at 2:30, so if you are at Pleasure Beach, it's worth watching if you're into ice skating or just shows like that. But yeah, we're having a ride round on the train now, and then we'll be going on the big one because it's walk-on. How many times have we done the big one, Mike?
I think it's 3.
Wasn't it? It's a completely walk-on.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Busy.
Busy. The funny thing is, I've actually been accused of creating a false narrative that Pleasure Beach is dead. And honestly, I didn't expect to be able to walk on Big One today. I mean, it's on not quite a 2-train service. The back 2 cars have stayed bagged on on one of the trains. I'm not sure which train it is. So it's basically on what, an 8-car service out of 10. It's walk on with 3 laps in less than half an hour. Happy days. It's running really well. Back row's still my favourite on it. I just think that airtime on the first drop is just unrivaled in terms of steel coaster airtime in this country. Just amazing, really. You had a good day, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking we might as well wrap the vlog at this point. We're pretty much done, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, highlight of the day. Hot ice?
No.
Should we end it on that? Bet it was. Go, what's your highlight of the day?
Just enjoyed going to dipper again this morning.
Yep. Anything else?
Big one.
Yeah.
So, to be fair, that's every video, isn't it?
Yeah,
The big
yeah,
one.
it is. It is. When you're next back for the event,
Yeah, I think so.
we're going to vlog it.
Guess so.
We are going to vlog it. That's the correct answer. So yeah, that's all. The highlight for me is obviously getting on Big Dipper over the last 2 days, getting on the big one quite a few times today. It was good to see hot ice. I mean, it's not for me, but I'm glad we've watched it. Can at least say we've done it. The music's excellent. The skaters are excellent, so you can't knock it for that. It's just not my kind of show. In terms of Pleasure Beach, really enjoyed being here. Really enjoyed not having to queue for anything today. Top day at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. If you've enjoyed this vlog, please give it a thumbs up. Could get us another vlog somewhere between 250 and 350 likes. It will be massively appreciated. And of course, just in case you're not aware and you are subscribed to the channel, we are now uploading 4 times a week, although that looked like 3. Oh, there we go. 4 times a week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, rather than just 3 times a week. So 4 uploads a week now until November. Many thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.